Hey, what's going on, everyone? Axel here. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about Crystal Cove. For those of you all who haven't seen my last few videos, I'm recording on my cell phone because I've not yet gotten a replacement for my PC, which recently died. I still don't have a replacement, but at least I can make some videos on my phone. Sorry for the quality not being as good as you're used to from videos on my channel. But in any case, I wanted to talk a little bit about Crystal Cove today. So the event I actually have been running a little bit. So even though my main PC is dead, I do have a really bad old potato PC, which is like barely able to run DDO. I can't edit or anything on it, unfortunately, or I'd use it for videos, but it's like barely, it's terrible. It's barely good enough to run DDO, but I was able to use it to run some Crystal Cove the last few weeks. Not a lot, but a little bit. So I wanted to give my thoughts on it. It's the first time that, really in a long time, that I've run Crystal Cove. It seems like every time Crystal Cove comes up, it's just I'm busy with something else, or I just don't want any of the new stuff. And there is new stuff this year, which was the main incentive for me to actually run the event. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so just a quick rundown of the event. So the way the event works is you need to talk to an NPC in the harbor. The NPC's name is Sailor Calatin, and talk to this NPC to get to the Crystal Cove event area. They changed it this year, so I believe there used to be like map pieces you had to collect. You all tell me how that worked exactly. It was like it's been years and years since I bothered to run this, and I don't remember. But I think you had to previously collect map pieces. But in any case, it doesn't really matter. The way it works now, and they changed this year, is all you got to do is just talk to the NPC and you go right to Crystal Cove. You don't need to do anything else or collect anything else to get there. So the way the event works is there's two sections of the event. There's a public Slayer area. Actually, the way in that they used to have a public Slayer area for Maybar before it became Night Rebels, but it still exists for Crystal Cove, even though they took out the Maybar one because it was causing server lag. Apparently, this one doesn't. I'm not sure how that works, but I like it. I like the public Slayer area. It's kind of fun. But you need to use that Slayer area to collect compasses and collect various ingredients. There's a lot of different ingredients. So the ingredients you'll use to buy, obviously, like consumables or items, but all ingredients except for one drops in the Slayer area. So the other ingredient, which is Dragon Charge, you'll need to get by running the actual challenge. And most stuff requires you to run the challenge to get the items. Some cheap consumables do not, but most stuff does. Let's see. They also this year made a change that just like the winter event, there will be champions in regular quests as long as you're running harder above to where champions will actually appear. There will be special champions called ghostly champions, which will drop some ingredients, so you can make a little bit of progress by just playing the game as is without actually running the event. So when you get into the Slayer area, the compasses. There's compasses, as I said before, in addition to the ingredients. The compasses allow you to access the challenge. The drop rate for them is actually really good. Like, you don't need to worry about farming this stuff. Like, compasses are... First of all, you don't need nearly as many as, say, like Night Revel's keys, because the challenge is quite long and it drops a lot of ingredients. So the number of number of compasses you actually need is not very much. For example, you might need to run, I think to get an item, you could probably definitely run as little as say you want like a minimum level 32, like the Maul for something like Rat Killer. I think it's like 1,000 Dragon Shards you need to get that. Something like that. It could be, you all tell me if I'm wrong. I think that's pretty close because I just bought some of the lower level ones. But anyway, it's about 1,000 or so. So you could get that Maul probably in definitely 2 runs of the challenge. I was running some with a group before where I was getting like 700 plus Dragon Shorts, if I recall correctly. So you can definitely do it in as little as 2 runs. So you don't need very many compasses, unlike, say, Night Rebels. And they drop really, really generously. Like, you can spend... For me, I can spend like 30 minutes in the Slayer zone and get all the compasses I need. So there's no reason to buy them, even though you can buy them from the DDO store. You don't need to. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the challenge. So the challenge is exactly like the House C challenges. So in the Crystal Cove challenge, you need to guide kobolds to crystals. So you do this by going in the challenge. There's a time limit. You lay down torches, and that tells the kobolds where to go. So they'll continuously, whatever line you set down, they'll run to the end of that line and back. And you need to kind of guide them over this long map to get crystals. And there's various different crystals on the map. So there's like green crystals that are worth 1 point, Purples, I think that are worth what 5 or something. Then there's as much as there's really huge crystals that are worth up to like I forget. I think it was either 50 or 100. There's one giant crystal on the map, but there you basically guide them around. As you're doing this, enemies will continuously respawn, so you have to guard the kobolds. There's a lot of upgrades you can buy from the foreman, who's right at the beginning. He spawns right at the beginning of the challenge. You know, you can buy things like healing torches. You can buy upgrades so your kobolds can carry more crystals in their backpacks. You can buy, let's see, you can buy things like portals so they can more quickly get back. You can buy extra kobolds. So there's a lot of things you'll want to buy from the challenge as you do it. And it's something, these challenges is definitely something you don't want to solo. I did solo it a bit. The problem with soloing is it's just not intended to be soloed at all, because the kobolds are going to be drawn out in such a long line that you can't possibly cover all of it by yourself. You need people to help you defend the kobolds. It also really helps if you have people to help you, like buy ingredients from the foreman, lay down torches. Obviously, someone's going to have to lay down the torches. You'll want other people to help you. Not just defend the kobolds, but also lay down portals, things like that. Scout out for the crystals, because there'll be certain areas that'll be worth way more to go into. Like, you really don't want to be picking up too many green crystals. You really want to focus on the higher value crystals. So you want people to scout out the map for you to do that. Plus, if you want to do the XP, get XP in the challenge, there's other optionals you can do for more XP. But you actually don't have to do those. What you really want to focus on is collecting as many crystals as possible, because that gets you the most ingredients. But let's see. That's kind of the basics for the challenge. There's also a minimum threshold, so I believe it's 100. So if you're soloing, you can possibly spend like 20 minutes in there and get nothing if you don't hit the minimum threshold, which I think is 100 crystals. So it's definitely something you don't want to solo. So get a group going, and it's way more efficient. Way more efficient. Okay. Let's see what else we want to talk about. So the new rewards. So this is what drew me to the event this year, because there are new rewards. The best one being they introduced a +2 festive strength augment. So it's an augment that will stack with every other strength bonus in the game. So if you have any strength-based character that you absolutely want to get them this, you might want to get multiple. So if you want to stack it and put it in different equipment, I don't know, through a reincarnation or something, you'll want to get maybe multiples of these. Plus, if you want to make money, if you want to make shards, great idea is to right now take advantage of it, farm the event for as many +2 strength, festive strength augments as you can, because this stuff is not bound. And then 6 months from now, put them on the shard exchange. That's a good way to make shards. There's also some other rewards that are new. There's a ruby of adamantine blessing, so to give your weapon you equip this in, adamantine bypass. There's also a ruby of the surging tide. I believe that does some kind of water damage. I don't remember exactly, but it's some kind of water damage when you add into a weapon. It's probably I believe it's probably that water dot, I would imagine. They also introduced 4 different weapon cosmetics. So these are actually not they're actually not typed as cosmetics. The intention here is for you to buy them. I think they're all minimum level 4 weapons, but the intention is for you to buy them and use Mirrors of Glamoring for them. So that's another thing you can go at. There's also all the old items. So there's things like there's a endless bottle of rum, which gives, I think it's fully upgraded, gives you every 5 minutes heal and I think restoration and healing, I believe it is. So that's something you might want to run, though. That is that item in particular is according to the wiki, and I haven't grinded that one out myself, but according to the wiki, that's a much higher grind than some of the other stuff. Most of the other weapons, though, are pretty reasonable. Like I found, for example, running like being in a good group, getting like two challenges run is probably enough to get you a weapon. Like I know what I went for is. I don't know if I'll use it a lot, but I went for the maul that was in there. There's a maul called the Rat Killer, which has a Earth Grab proc on it. I figured I would grab, since I don't have a lot of maul options at low epic levels, I grabbed a minimum level 24 Rat Killer that maybe I'll use until I can put on my Legendary Green Steel level 26. So I did get that, but there are a lot of other items like that really are not. I think they introduced minimum level 32 versions, by the way, of all the old items. And most of those are not that bad. I think the minimum level 32 maul was something around 1,000 dragon shards, so 20 minutes maybe in the Slayer area, and in 2 challenges is probably enough. So you could really grind that out in less than an hour if you wanted to. It's really not a bad grind. But like I said, some of the other stuff, particularly the endless bottle rum, I believe that one is, according to the wiki, if the wiki's right, it's upwards of like 5,000 dragon shards for the highest level version. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Let's see. Like I said, the strength augment. If you get nothing else, the strength augment. If you have a strength based character, you're gonna want to get the strength augment. And then also, as I said before, the minimum level 32 versions. If there's any items like old items in the past that you've really loved, you might want to get the level 32 versions. But really, look at the Wikipedia page, and I'll go ahead and link that below in the description if you're not aware. But look through the rewards there and see if there's something you want, because there's a lot of different items that it's going to depend on your build if you're going to want it or not. But as I said before, beware that as of the posting of this video, which is on Friday, September 30th, you only have 3 more days. You have until Monday. They're going to shut it off. So October, I believe it's October 3rd, they're going to shut it off in the morning. So you need to get it done this weekend. Okay, what else do we want to cover here? Let's see. Oh, the Slayer Zone. So the Slayer Zone, as I said before, is a public Slayer Zone, which is pretty fun because you need to be aware, particularly if you're in there as a low-level character, because if you're next to, say, like a higher-level character, it can spawn tougher mobs. But it's a fun zone, though. It's fun. It's fine. You're not going to need to grind that for hours and hours and hours. As I said before, you know, the drop rate of both ingredients and compasses is extremely generous. You don't really have to grind much in this event unless you want tons of stuff, or perhaps if you want the endless bottle of rum, because that one's a little grind heavy. Let's see. Personally, I haven't done, like I said before, I haven't done Crystal Cove in a lot of years, so I was actually glad that I actually did it this year. Because it's been so long, I couldn't remember quite how the event ran. But yeah, it's fine. It's really not an event I can. It's fine. You know, it is what it is. It's kind of a typical DDO event. It's very similar to the way Night Rebels is. You know, you do a Slayer Zone, you get some ingredients, you get some kind of key to unlock the challenge. You run the challenge a bit. It does feel. I don't know if in terms of time it really is less grindy, but the event certainly feels less grindy just because you get so many. If you're in a good group, you get so many dragon shards. You can get up towards of like 700 dragon shards in a single run, so it certainly doesn't feel as grindy to me as Night Rebels did. It's too bad that I don't have a working PC right now, because if I did, I would be running the event way more and probably grinding out a bunch of festive strength augments so that I can sell those later for shards. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you all think. What do you like Crystal Cove? Have you been running it this year? Lastly, I want to thank my patrons, Jordan Bloom, Robert Ray, Vovklov Snyder, Brent Erickson, Ryan Ozzie, Rouge Rogue, and Clorox. Thank you all very much for your support. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all next time. Have a good one. Take care.